What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Chill J here. Back another. As you can see, I'm on the FaceCam with it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's my first FaceCam ever, and why not do a very first FaceCam with a story time? Now, the last story time that I dropped, I don't know how long ago. I think it was like about 1 or maybe 2 months ago or whatever. So if you missed that story time, be sure to go check that out. Leave a like on that video. But in today's story time, I'm bringing you a very special one today. Now, in today's story time, I'm going to be talking about my very first job ever, so we're not going to waste no more time. So before we hop into the story time video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and without further ado, let's just hop into the story time video. So this story time takes place back in my freshman year of high school, and around this time, I believe I was like 15, 14, 15. No, I was 15, right? So if you're from Arlington or you stayed in Arlington before, everybody's first job between the ages of 14 and 16, you're most likely to have your first job either at McDonald's or Six Flags. And looking for me, I worked at both, but that story time's for another day. But anyways, like I said, your first job is going to be at McDonald's or Six Flags. That's just how it is. Now, at the time when I was 15, everybody was getting a job at Six Flags. And I remember at this age, most of the money I was spending was either at school while I would go to campus for lunch, because ain't no way in hell I'm eating that jail food at my school every single day, or I was spending it on the game, because I remember at this time I was playing a lot of Fortnite at this time, which is oh my goodness, I spent way too much money on that game. But anyways, yeah, so at this time I was spending a lot of money on Fortnite, and at this point I was tired of having to ask my mom or other people for money. So I was like, you know what, why not go get a job? So when I was looking for a job, I was looking around, seeing what I could find that was available, and I noticed one place everybody was going, and that was Six Flags. Now, my friend that worked there at the time, he said that he get paid there $8.50 weekly an hour, and that sounded good to me. So I said, you know what, why not apply there? So when I applied there, I applied for as a cashier at a food place. You know what I'm saying? Now I applied, I believe, like in December or whatever, and the application didn't go through until around like February, because that's when the store was closed or whatever, or the music park was closed. So eventually I got hired, and you know, so we had orientation. Now little did I know, my friend applied there too, and he got hired too. So I was like, cool, bet that. So we went to orientation or whatever, right? And they was going over the rules and all that stuff, because everybody that was in this room that we was in for orientation was new. Like, everybody in there was just new. Now, there was 2 sets of orientation. There was one in the morning, there was one in the PM, and I went to the one in the morning so I can get over with, and my friend did too as well. So we was in there just listening to rules, because the orientation was just really boring. But we finally got to that part where we was going to be like working at. So I asked my friend what type of thing he applied for. He said he applied for cashier, like in the food department or whatever. I was like, okay, bet that. So whenever they was like showing us where we gonna be at, me and my friend ended up in the same place, which was cool, because I was gonna be working with one of my good homies, right? Now we ended up in this place called All American Cafe. It's in front of the Six Flags music park. As soon as you walk in, that's the very first real food place that you walk in when you go into the front. Now this place, I believe it served chicken tenders, pizza, snacks, all that stuff. But the one thing that was very underrated about the place was those cheese sticks, bro. Oh my goodness, bro. When I tell you, them cheese sticks was like love made in heaven. Like, every time I took a bite out of them cheeses, I fell in love. Especially with the little sauce that they had too, man. I would get those on my break. Oh my goodness, bro, it was just so amazing. So yeah, so whenever we got stationed, they told us that we was that our first week, it was going to be during spring break, which is good, because I was working the whole entire spring break, making that bread, all that stuff. So your boy was finna be making some big money. You know what I'm saying? I was ready. So my first day on the job was like the day spring break started, right? And I think I was working like I was working in the morning. I remember I was working in the morning. My friends were the same morning shift too, right? So when we went there, majority of the people in there was new. It was me, my friend, like a few other people. Now these other people that I met were actually good people, so I'm gonna bring on names in video. Now this dude that I met at the job named Cameron, right? This dude was cool, like he was short, but when I tell you this little dude was funny as hell, the man was funny, right? Then there was this other girl named Jay, as she would go by. I'm not gonna say her real name, but everybody would call her that. She was cool too. I can't remember a few other people, but yeah, those are the two main people I remember, because those are the two that I would mainly talk to. Like them two people was cool as hell, right? So our first week was working there during spring break, and I'm saying it was all good. I was learning pretty much how to work the money, all that stuff, right? And I remember the first thing that I ended up doing when I went there, when the work first time, was going to this room where we had to get like the cash or the cash register, all that stuff, right? So yeah, this story kind of out of place, so I'm just remembering as I go. So the first day I worked there, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't that bad. So keep in mind, this is during spring break. So I'll tell you this, by the time it was Thursday, I pretty much had my job down. Pretty much all I had to do, the first thing I had to do when I went there was to go to the money place. If you're a cashier, and you had to go to this place to get the money, you know what I'm saying, set up your cash register, and you would go to the place you would work at. Now at the end of the day, or at the end of your shift, you would take that cash register, give it to your manager. You would have to like gather up all the money or whatever, and you would take it back to the place where you got the money from for your cash register. You turn that stuff in, and you're free to go home, right? So pretty much when I had everything down, you know what I'm saying, I was good by Thursday. Pretty much I was doing a little more being cash, you know what I'm saying. I was cleaning. Sometimes I would make the food or whatever, and you know pretty much we all had to clean our hair and stuff like that. So I had got all that stuff down by Thursday. It was a pretty easy job. And on top of that, my co-workers was cool as hell. Like to this day, I feel like the co-workers I had working with at Six Flags were one of the best I worked with, because they were so cool, you know what I'm saying. So first week goes by, you know what I'm saying, I officially worked a full week on my very first job. But when I got that paycheck, boy, I was balling. I was feeling like the man when I got that first paycheck. But as soon as I got that paycheck, the very first thing I spent my money on was a Fortnite skin, bro. The very first thing I bought was a Fortnite skin, bro. I don't know what skin it was, but man, as soon as I got that paycheck, I spent about like $25 on a damn skin, bro. I spent about $25 on the skin, bro. I was feeling like the man. Like I damn near blew my whole entire first check on some Fortnite skins, bro. Like I'm saying, I was playing so much Fortnite at this time. So anyways, back into the story, right? So majority of the times I worked at 6 I was mainly working on weekends, right? Because it wasn't until the summer where you were gonna really start making money, right? So throughout the weekend, you know, so I was getting paid weekly. I was only working on weekends because, you know, when I was in school, I couldn't work throughout the weeks. Sometimes I'll work on one of those Fridays where like sometimes I work on the Fridays where it will be like some type of special event held down, like a school night or a church night or whatever, right? Now the paychecks, like on the weekends, they were cool and all, but if I really wanted to have at least like close to 200 on my paycheck, I would literally have to slave. Like I remember one time I worked a double shift where pretty much I was there from like the morning to like damn near like 11 o'clock, bro. Like when I tell you I was working to get them paychecks, because I realized that if I worked like longer hours, I would get more money, because I would only work like, I think like 1 or 2 days off the week of the weekend, right? So, and like I said, we were getting paid weekly. So yeah, I just wanted a little bit more money. So here's the thing, right? So I was getting paid $8.50. You know, I was working on the weekends, but I felt like the checks I was getting wasn't enough keeping my eyes in school. But at the same time, I feel like I wanted to get more money. So I remember one day at school, I was just sitting at the lunch table chilling, and I think this day I was like real broke point. I couldn't go on campus, so I had to eat that jail food. Luckily that jail food was good that day. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot what it was, but I knew it was good. So one day I'm at the table with my friend and my other friend. We was just chilling at the table, right? Now I remember this dude was working at Six Flags, but I used to see him time to time, but he would quit. He quit, right? So I forgot why he quit, but I remember him telling me something that would change like my whole entire Six Flags experience like forever, right? So pretty much he told me that sometimes when he had no money in his pockets, no money in his car, and he was really hungry, sometimes he would take some money out the register and just put it straight up in his pocket without anyone looking. That'll be his lunch. I'm like, really? And he said, yeah. I was like, did you ever get caught with that? He was like, no, bro, I never got caught. But the thing is, I was like, did this man get caught, or he was getting caught for he quit? That's the question I should have asked myself in my head. I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, so when he told me that, I was like, bro, how legit this is? I said, bro, you just gotta be real sneaky with it. But keep in mind, this man worked at retail, and I was working in the food department, right? Now, like, I don't know what retail store he was in, but he must have been one of those, like, those not too busy retail stores going to do this and get away with this, right? Keep in mind, I'm working in a food place where it's always busy, especially when it hits like 12 o'clock. That's when it's always busy, because it's in front of the store. When people are hungry, they want to eat first before they get on rides or whatever, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it this weekend. So the week goes by, and it's Saturday. I'm working, right? Now, I knew that this wasn't going to work, because I feel like I can't just take my direction and just put it straight up. Like, I have to do it in a way where nobody won't notice anything. So the way I came up to do it was, like, whenever no one wasn't looking, I took like a receipt, an old receipt paper that I kept when it comes to want their receipt, right? So when I did that, the next time I had opened up the register, I left it like a little bit open, right? And whenever no one wasn't looking, I opened up the register, took a 20 out, put the 20 in the receipt paper, closed it up like a hamburger. I would put it in my pocket, no questions asked, like no hesitation, right? So when I did this the first time today, and I seen how sneaky, how good it worked, I started doing it more. Like, when I tell you I became a crackhead at doing this, bro, I'm talking about, like, every time with the work, I came out of there with like $60 in my pocket straight out the register. Like, bro, I was just going bananas. Like, I was a fiend for taking cash out the register and just getting away with it, right? And no one would ever suspect a thing. Like, bro, I'm talking about one time, like, I took about almost 150 out the register in one day, bro. Like, I was going crazy. Like, nigga, I had lunch money in my pocket. Like, I was taking these lunch monies out here, bro. I was just going crazy. But until one day, bro. So now we're in the summer, right? I believe we are in June, and that's when I started getting a little bit more hours, but I was still doing this, but I started taking less so I can have a little bit of money, right? So over the past few months up until June, I was doing this same process, and I always came out with hella cash, right? Now, throughout these months, I was thinking, like, I need to stop doing it because I'm gonna get caught. But once you start doing something, you can't stop doing it, right? And that applies to life, right? So like I said, when I first started doing this, I couldn't stop. I needed to stop, or else I was gonna get caught, right? So one day in June, you know what I'm saying, I'm just working. I now keep in mind, I haven't done this in like 2 days. Like, I stopped doing it for 2 days straight, and this was gonna be my third day stop. But by the time I stopped, it was too late, my G. It was too late. So anyways, like I said, one day in June, I was just working a regular shift, and I was doing my job correctly, nothing too easy, right? Until one day, my manager got somebody to tell me that I needed to go to the manager's office, right? I said, okay, cool. Maybe they're telling me I need to leave or whatever, right? So I went there, right? And I seen these two dudes wearing like a black suit or whatever, right? And they told me that I need to come with them. Now, I didn't think too much of it. I didn't think too much of it until I got my cash register, right? So I started thinking, I was like, oh shoot, I might be caught, bro. That might be it for me. But I didn't say anything, right? So I just did what they asked me to do, and I went with them, right? So we were walking back to the office they were in, and I asked him like is there something wrong? And the guy looked at me and he said, nah, none should be wrong, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't think too much to it. So when I got in there, I already knew I was fucked. Pretty much when I walked in there, I knew I was fucked. You wanna know I was fucked? This is the thing. You remember how I told you that before I started working for real, I had to go on orientation? One of the things that they mentioned in orientation was about the secret shoppers. Now, if you've been to a amusement park or you worked at an amusement park, they should have a system like this, or you might have heard of it. Pretty much, if you haven't heard of it, I'm going to explain it to you. Pretty much what a secret shopper is someone that works at the amusement park, but they're under like disguise as a secret shopper. Like, pretty much like, okay, let's say I go to the amusement park dressed like this. I could be looked at from other people as a normal person just going to Six Flags, just trying to have a good time. But little do they know, I'm working at Six Flags, but I'm undercover as a secret shopper. Do you get what I'm saying now? So pretty much that's what they mentioned, right? So when I walked in, the first thing I seen was one of them secret shoppers. Bro, that's the very first thing I seen. When I seen that, I scanned the room. I said, yep, they ain't gonna call me, bro. I'm over with. When I seen it, I will never forget the dude's face when he seen me. When I looked at this dude, he looked at me, I looked at him, he just shook his head, bro. At that point, I knew I was fucked, right? So I go in this dude's office, right? And pretty much this dude I'm in the office with, I think he was like the I don't know what to call it, like the scam people or the people that deals with like investigations around the park, right? So I go in there, you know what I'm saying, introduces himself, and he pretty much goes right to the point. Pretty much, they've been running an investigation of like missing cash in that certain place I was working at, Almond Cafe, and they found out who was doing it, and of course they found it was me. Now how they found this out, where they got me doing it on camera and all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, they had secret cameras in there, I don't know what, so, and they had secret shoppers. So pretty much they told me the only way I was gonna get out of the situation if I was honest. So long story short, I ended up being honest, and now here's the part where it gets tricky. Now at this point they were asking me, how much did you take, how much were you doing it? So I told them I was doing it up until June, because I started this like back in like I think like towards the end of March going to April. So I was doing this from like April to May to June. I was doing this for almost about 3.5 months. And they told them that it was asking me how much I would take out and all that stuff. And pretty much I told them sometimes I would take out 20, 40. I told them about the time where I took out like 150. Like pretty much I was like, the average I would take out these registers when I was working there was about 20 to like 30 to $40, right? So keep in mind, I was doing this for 3 months straight, my G. So when I was doing this, I was telling how much, he was sitting there doing the math or whatever and all that stuff, right? So after we was done, pretty much, you know what I'm saying, he called my mom. That I had to tell her pretty much what happened. And when I called my mom, I told her what happened while he was like recording. I think he like recorded it or whatever before this. I don't know. I forgot what he did, but pretty much I'll never forget like my mom's voice. Like she sounded so disappointed in me, bro. She sounded so disappointed in me. Like she was asking me why would I do this, and pretty much like I told the dude, like I forgot to mention to you guys, I pretty much told him why I did. I told him why I was doing it because I wanted to get paid more. Cause see, when I was working at Six Flags, I worked my ass off every single day I was in that. I was in there pretty much damn near slaving, and I felt like I wasn't getting recognized. I wanted to get a promotion because my friend got a promotion like back in like May for pretty much not doing anything. Like y'all ever have one of those co-workers that don't do nothing but they get promoted and you feel like you work harder than them and you should get a promotion? Yeah, it was one of them, but hey, it was no big because he got like a 25 cent raise, but that's so much more than getting paid $8.50, right? He's then getting paid $9. So pretty much when that applied to me still stealing cash out the registers, that's pretty much why, because I wanted to get paid more, right? And pretty much they talked to me, they said, look, you're a good kid, you just made a bad decision. And then, you know, they said that like at first they wanted to press charges on me, my G, but they said that they seen how honest I was, because they were listening the whole time. They seen how honest I was, and they said that the only way we're gonna let you out of the situation, you pretty much pay everything back. So when they added it up, I had to pay like about $500 back in all the money that I had got. But that money wasn't even close to the amount that they had added up, and I believe it was somewhere in the thousands, close to 2,000, bro. Because I was doing this for 3 months straight. You gotta keep that in mind. So long story short, whenever I got paid the next time, I had to pay them back, and they let me know that I was fired immediately. So yeah, that's yeah, that's pretty much it of the story. But pretty much after I got fired, I was looking for another job. And that's where I ended up at McDonald's. Now, I'm going to stop the story right there. So, yeah, that's how my first job experience ever went. So, pretty much, I got fired for basically being too greedy when I should just ask for a promotion. So, yeah, that's going to be the end of this story time video. I hope you guys enjoyed this long story time video with my very first face cam ever. Let's get 5 likes on this video, okay? Because it's been a while since I did a story time. So if we can get 5 likes on this video, I will drop the story time about my job experience working at McDonald's. I actually have a good story about that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.